Welcome to Selfish Confidence, a place where we can connect and be real about how hard it is to be your damn self. I'm your host, Jess, and my goal is to help you build confidence and belief in yourself to live any life path you want, even if it's unconventional. It's time to break down those barriers and connect with women who've also felt on the outside by their life choices. We're encouraging you to grab the mic and speak your truth. I know it can be scary, but we're in this together. We got this. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Selfish Confidence Podcast. It's Jess here, and it's like I should go bow, bow, bow. And I am sitting down to record this, and I set myself up to really totally absorb this topic that I have for you today. This topic came to me earlier when I was in the shower, wink, wink, and I was taking a cold shower, which if you know me, that is something I have never embraced. The cold showers and the plunges and all those things. But on New Year's Day, I decided to do one, and I am really trying to fully immerse myself in that concept of the cold. The only good thing, no, I shouldn't say the only good thing. One of the good things about living in Barbados was the warmth. And I loved the 32 to 35 degrees Celsius every single day. And living that warm, beautiful life and not having to worry about ever being cold. Like, you couldn't even take a cold shower down there. You couldn't even do a cold plunge. Like, the water is warm and beautiful all the time. So fully trying to embrace that now that I'm back in Canada and living this life has been something. It's been something. And anyways, this idea came to me to talk about raising your vibration for a better year and a better outcome in 2023. And that came to me while I was in my cold shower. And what's interesting about this topic is that it's really easy to raise your vibration, to live at that level that you've always wanted to live at, the one that you have put on a pedestal and you'll say, well, someday I'll be there. But it's actually really easy to live that life right now. And that all comes from raising your vibration, from setting yourself up to feel that amazing feeling that you have. And I had to put some of these things that we're going to talk about today into practice just to record this episode tonight. I absolutely hate recording in the evenings. It's not my highest time of energy, but Glenn has been home for the last couple weeks because, his Christmas vacation construction, it's extended. It's awesome to be able to have him home. But it just means that during the day we're doing different things and working on the house and, taking Polly out for a walk and enjoying this time that he's home, when normally I would use that time to sit down in between client calls and just hash out a podcast episode. Life just looks a little different right now, and I'm totally embracing it. I love you, honey. I know you're listening to this. And that being said, I just had to do some of these practices tonight to get that energy back up. And so I'm really excited to dive into this topic because, again, it's something that you can implement right now. Depending on what time you're listening to this episode, you could probably start doing them right now. But before we get into the juice, I really wanted to share with you about the Confidence Collective course that I have coming up starting on January 23rd. This is a 6-week course. It used to be formerly known as the Selfish Sisterhood. So if you saw last fall a group of women going through the sisterhood, this is now the Confidence Collective program that I have. And it's a 6-week program, helps to define what it is that you want and gives you the action steps to live that life out loud, to take the action towards a life that you're really excited about. Because I learned through this process that women don't often know what they want. We have these dreams and we create these vision boards, but often we have no freaking clue what it is that we actually want. So this program helps to really take it step by step for what you want, how you're going to get there, and then implementing that. And we do it in a form of a group coaching program with weekly live coaching calls and an awesome community where you really get to lean on your sisters and learn what they're going through as well. We also have bonus material like breathwork sessions and meditations and coloring pages and all these things that have really helped me to define my confidence and have helped me to really live my life out loud in a way that I didn't even know was possible because I didn't know what I wanted. If you walked into 2023 and you're just like, oh yeah, I have all these goals, but really they're like society-based goals, not necessarily the ones that you really want, but just because, your girlfriends are doing it or your mom's doing it and everyone in your life, has these goals, so they must be mine too. If that's how you've been living, then I really challenge you to look into the Confidence Collective, send me a DM and ask your questions of whatever you have, because this program has been really transformational for a lot of women. And I do think that it can help you to figure out what you need in your life too. 6 weeks to hang it with me. It is $2.99 Canadian for the course, and you'll be able to really dive into every week. We get a workbook and different bonus materials for my keeners and all the things. Now that I know, for my American friends, a keener is like a teacher's pet, or like someone who really likes to get into it. I learned when I was away that a lot of people didn't know what a keener was. Is that a Canadian thing? Anyways, that being said, I would love to help you discover what it is that you truly want and how you're going to get there through the Confidence Collective. So send me a message and get connected, and I'll give you all the information about the course that we have starting on the 23rd. And now let's dive into the 8 ways that you can raise your vibration for better confidence today. And I really do mean that you can start this today because, again, this topic came to me when I was taking my cold shower, and it was only my 4th cold shower ever. And I can already feel a difference through showing up for my life in this way, in this moment, the energy that I have, the confidence that I have for what I'm tackling, and really just focusing my mindset on living a higher vibrational life is really having an impact on how I show up for my work, how I show up in my relationships, how I show up at home, how I'm just like waking up more energized and excited for the day. Whereas before, sometimes I wake up and I just like don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Those days where you're just like, not today. I'm not having those as many. Like I'm not having as many of those days right now. And I bet you probably want to have a life like that too. And I know there's going to be hard seasons. I'm not saying that we can just like high vibe our life and like peace out world. I'm never going to feel anything horrible ever again. That's not the truth. But what this does change is that energy that you have every single day. And I truly do believe it has a huge impact on your confidence. If you can start to shift some of these things, you're going to show up more confidently in your life. And there's a couple reasons for that. But let's dive into number 1. The first one being to move your body. And we recently just got a spin bike, and I have been using that in the mornings to really help to get that energy back up. And you might have rolled your eyes when I said that because this is a really simple one. Right? More confidence comes from you showing up and moving your body in a way that feels good and joyful and just energizing for you. We know this is a huge component to your health. It's actually also a huge component to your vibrational level. When you start to show up and move your body in a way that feels really good, you're actually showing the universe and you're showing, the world and everyone, yourself too, that you're willing to live for a higher vibrational life. You're willing to put in the work. And believe me, I also know workouts are not always fun, but we're going to make them fun. We're going to choose the ones that actually feel really good for you. For me, maybe that's doing a spin class, or maybe it's, going to the yoga studio. There's different ways for me that feel really good. But if you listen to that and you're just like, ew, no, I would never do that. I want to box. I want to run. I want to play with my kids. Whatever it is for you, that's the movement you have to do. Do not use movement as a form of punishment because that is not going to raise your vibration. We have to do it out of a way of joy and excitement and a fun way for us to show up for our bodies. So find the piece of movement that feels really good for you and go with that. Number 2 is to claim your vision and to say it out loud. What it is that you have on your heart, that piece that you've been thinking of, that thing on your vision board that you're too embarrassed to tell anyone about, you need to claim it. And say it out loud and share it with someone, even if it's just me. Send me a DM. There's something about saying it out loud and claiming it that helps you to just live a higher vibrational life. It helps you to show up as that version of yourself that wants that thing instead of just living low and just be like, I'm never telling anybody about this because it's so embarrassing. Your dreams aren't embarrassing. You're not embarrassing. But when you hide them and we can't celebrate them with you and help you to get to these different levels that you've been dreaming of, that's just not helping anybody. So I really want you to focus on what it is that you want. And again, that's something that you can figure out in the Confidence Collective if that's for you. But find out what you want and speak it to life. Share it with someone, even just for writing it on paper, something that you can read every single day. Your dreams were given to you for a reason. And I truly believe that. You wouldn't have been given this idea or this dream that you have or this vision, this thing on your heart. You wouldn't have been given that if you weren't the person to live it out, right? I really do believe you're not going to get these visions just for nothing, just as a joke to dangle in front of you. If it's on your heart, it's there for a reason and you can bring it to life. You are capable of bringing that to life right now. So claim it. Share it with someone. I really, really challenge you to just speak it out loud. The third way that you can raise your vibration right now is to acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge the work that you're putting in. Acknowledge the effort that you have been living your life at. Acknowledge that you've been showing up. Acknowledge who you are. Acknowledge what your dreams are. And thank yourself for them. I think we go through life acknowledging and seeing everybody else around us that we forget to do the same for ourselves. We're so busy in everybody else's business and everybody else's world, in our kids and in our families and doing all the things and rushing around, that we forget to acknowledge that we showed up. That we forget to say thank you to ourselves and to our bodies for doing something really special, like breathing and living today, or even waking up and getting out of bed. It's the wintertime. Sometimes that can be really hard for a lot of us. And simply acknowledging the effort that you've been putting in helps to give yourself some gratitude and give yourself some grace and remind you of how much you've been doing and how much effort you've been putting into this world. How old are you? For me, I'm 32. I've been putting in 32 years of effort of discovering and finding myself and learning new things and pivoting and changing my mind and trying this and moving and doing all the things that have helped me to get to where I am now. Look at yourself like that. Acknowledge the effort that you've been putting in for however long you are alive. And I bet it's a lot of effort, a lot of years of work. Remind yourself of everything you've done and celebrate that. Acknowledge that today. Because as you do, as you start to see yourself in that light, you start to raise your vibration in this world. And I think that's the most beautiful gift that you could ever give yourself. Just to see yourself and to remind yourself of everything you've been doing. I'm so proud of you. But you also have to be proud in yourself. So acknowledge that. And you're just going to elevate your vibration already. Sometimes this does take practice, though. I will say it's not just going to be an instant thing. It's something that you are going to have to do and show up as every single day. So maybe wake up and look in the mirror and be like, you're doing a good job, girl. I'm so proud of you. Do whatever feels good for you. For me, it's often in my head. I just try to pivot my mind in my head. If I have a negative thought come in, I try to acknowledge myself in a different way. And that helps me to live this higher vibrational, more confident life. You will show up more confidently by living at this level and reminding yourself of your power and what you've been doing. And maybe give yourself a sticker, right? Give yourself a cookie, whatever you need to remind yourself that you've been showing up in this beautiful way. And you're proud of yourself. Number 4 is to choose clothes that empower you, clothes that help you to feel more confident. We've talked about this before, and I do have some scheduled interviews coming up about clothes and the things that you wear and how to find your style and all of that. But pick the clothes that help you to feel really good. I don't know about you, but I often go to grab the sweatpants and the sweatshirt and I wear the same outfit all the time. And sometimes it's the one with the holes in it. And don't get me wrong, I feel good in that outfit. I don't look sexy, but I do feel good sometimes in that outfit. But I want you to find a couple outfits that feel really good when you go out in public. You're probably not wearing your holy sweatshirt when you go out or, your big baggy pajama pants, whatever it is that you wear around the house. You're probably not wearing that out in public. And if you are, shout out to you. I love you for that. But I want you to find some clothes that feel really good, that empower you to stand a little taller and to show up a little differently. And when you go to parties and you're wearing this outfit, you're just like, yes, I look good. And I'm acknowledging that. And again, I'm not telling you to go get a whole new wardrobe, a whole new closet full of clothes. I want you to look at what you have and see if maybe there's a few other items that you could add that help you to feel really good. But make sure you have at least a couple outfits on hand that if I called you up and said, hey girl, we're going for drinks, do you want to come? You have something that you can wear that you're going to feel really good in. And you're going to feel like yourself in. I think that's a really big piece of this is finding your authenticity and finding your truth in the clothing that you wear. And that often comes from you trying a few different things, finding the colors that you like, finding, the styles that you like, and trying on and having fun with your clothes and finding you through your clothing. You're going to start to stand out and stand up for yourself through the clothes that you wear. It's just kind of part of it. And you're going to start to just live a higher vibrational life by being you and wearing the clothes that feel freaking good for you. And again, if that's your holy pants and your holy sweater, by all means, rock them, be you. I love that for you. But if it's not, and those are the things that you've only been wearing for the last year because, you don't get out much, I want you to try to find at least one thing. And if you don't get out much and that's your excuse for not finding clothes, you got to book a social, you got to get out, you got to come and do something in an outfit that feels good for you. Don't let that be your excuse not to shine through the clothes that you wear. So start to pick out a few things that empower you to help you feel more confident, and that's really going to help you to show up in a different light. Number 5 is to do more of what brings you joy. And this is probably my favorite one on the list for a couple reasons. It's actually the one that really helped me to sit down and show up tonight and record this episode and feel really good about what I'm putting out there for you. So before hopping on the mic tonight, I did a few things that would really help me to bring joy to this moment. One was to make my favorite cup of tea in a mug that I absolutely love. And it might seem like a really small thing, but those small little micro minutes of joy that you're going to have actually can really make a huge impact on your day. By you picking joyful moments, little small things like grabbing your favorite mug and making a cup of your favorite tea can make a big impact on how you show up in this world and that vibration that you put out there. And when you start to see that those little moments are just as important as the big ones, you're really going to show up differently. So I put on some of my favorite music and I danced around, and I actually listen to a lot of frequency music sometimes too, just to kind of help me to get in the right headspace. So I put on some frequency music for happiness and things like that. Those little things make a big difference. I made sure to go out. Glenn's out in the kitchen doing his puzzle. He got a 3,000 piece Marvel puzzle for Christmas, and his goal is to have it done before he goes back to work. He has a long way to go. It's a lot of pieces. So I made sure to go out there and just hang out with him for a few minutes and have some hugs and some kisses and just raise my vibration in that way by doing a moment of joy with someone I love. Or maybe it's cuddling your cat or going out for a drive. I can sit here and give you suggestions all day long for things that might bring you joy. But until you start to find those things for yourself, it's really not going to work. I could tell you to go to the beach and you're just ew, sand. It's going to be different for every single one of us. And that's what's so special about raising your vibration in this way, is that it's unique to all of us. And again, I can sit here and give you a list of ways to show up, but it's going to be unique to you in a way that feels really good. So what brings you joy? What makes you want to show up? What makes you want to have this vibrational light around you? Of course, it could be tea and dancing around the house and kissing your husband, but it might not be. It might actually be something bigger, planning a trip or, going to bed early. For some of us, that's a great gift of joy that you can give. Reading your favorite book or going rock climbing. What are those things for you that bring you joy? And the same thing goes back to that moving your body in a way that feels really good. You have to find the ways that bring you joy, and that's the movement you need to do. Those are the activities you need to do more of. And as you fill your life with more joy in all different areas, it could be anything, small, large, whatever it is for you. As you fill your life with more of that joy, instantly your vibration starts to rise. And as it does, you show up in this life in a totally different light. I bet you can think of a few people on your list right now. You're just wow, they always seem so happy, or they always seem so joyful in the things that they're doing, and they show up in just this beautiful and light way. Those people are living for the joyful moments. They're working really hard on this stuff. It doesn't come naturally. And I will say, for some people, it does come more natural than others, right? It could be how you were raised. It could be, your personality in different ways. But that doesn't mean it's not possible for you to find joy in small moments in every single day. If it's even the creamer in your coffee, I always hated this when people tell you oh, don't eat those empty calories. F that. The creamer in your coffee, ketchup on your fries, all of these things that bring me so much joy into my day, have them. I keep Jolly Ranchers on my desk in this beautiful pineapple dish that my sister-in-law got me for Christmas. It is filled with Jolly Ranchers because that brings me joy. Those little things, being able to have a Jolly Rancher whenever I want, is a gift. And that's really going to help you to raise your vibration. Jolly Ranchers. Number 6. Jolly Ranchers. No, not actually. Number 6 is to show the F up. Similar to the year of confidence, and when I was living in that project, it took showing up every single day for me to get to this new level of confidence, for me to feel better about myself. And it took showing up every single day for a year. This isn't something, of course, I said this can help you instantly. Of course it can. It's going to help boost some things, but it takes consistency and showing up over time for this to actually become who you are. and just to naturally have that higher vibration of life. It takes effort for you to live at this level. It takes effort for you to show up. We can't just walk through life and hope that everything's going to go according to plan. It doesn't work like that. So when you find something like that joyful movement and the things and the moments in your day that bring you joy, I need you to show up for those and make those a priority in your life. By showing up every single day in whatever way feels good for you, you are showing the universe and you're showing the world and you're showing your family that you care. That you care for your life and that you want more. Do you care about yourself enough to show up consistently? And again, give yourself some grace. I'm not saying you gotta P90X this shit and show up all in so hard. No, that's not authentic to you. Maybe it is. It's not authentic to me. Give yourself some grace. Have a schedule that feels really good and feels really balanced in a way that, lights you up. Same thing with the year of confidence. It wasn't perfect. I didn't show up every single day for a year, but I was pretty consistent, and it helped me to change the things that I need to change and navigate in a way that felt, right for me. So do that for yourself too. Give yourself some grace. Do not say you have to do 75 hard from now until 2024 just in order for you to show up and live this high vibrational life. If that doesn't feel authentic to you, that's actually going to do the opposite. You're going to go low vibe. So make sure you're doing the things that feel authentic to you. And when you do, be consistent with them. Show the world what you're made of and show the world that you're willing to work hard for what it is that you want. Number 7 is to shift your mindset. And maybe you've probably heard this over and over and over again, to shift your mindset and to change what it is that you're saying in your head. But I actually had a conversation with a client today about this who has been facing just some different things that came up from early childhood for them that they were told over and over again as a kid. And it's really hard to break those things and to break the things that we've been telling ourselves because that's what we were told from a very young age. And again, just like asking you what your age is, think about that for a second. These things have been ingrained in your brain for a really long time. So it's going to take longer than just one day to shift your mindset on something. But let's say the mindset that you have is, I can't show up consistently because I'm not perfect. Maybe that's what you've been telling yourself for a while. Well, I'm not perfect, so I'm not going to do it. Let's change that mindset into something else. Maybe it's, I am good enough right now. I'm doing enough. I'm good enough. It's okay if it's not perfect. And going into the effort that you put into this world in that light, when we change our mindset in a way that starts to feel authentic to who we are and reminds ourselves that we're powerful in what we're doing, it makes a really big difference in how you show up vibrationally. Every time you lean into those negative things that we've been telling ourselves, all these clothes look really ugly on me. I could never be consistent. I am such a bitch. Everybody hates me. All these things that sometimes we tell ourselves, especially as women, because we've also been ingrained this for a really long time by society. But these things that we've been telling ourselves lower your vibration every single day. It's living out of alignment because that's not your truth. You're not a bitch. You're not ugly. You can live a life that feels authentic to you in a way that feels authentic to you and that doesn't make you those things. It's time that you change how you speak to yourself and change how you speak about yourself to others in a way that lights you up. It's not conceited. We already talked about this on the podcast many times. It's not conceited for you to talk highly of yourself or to see yourself in a beautiful light or to see the potential that you have in front of you. By seeing those things, it helps to raise that vibration that you have. And by you living in that light, it helps for others to be inspired by you. By you living in that beautiful light that you have and seeing yourself, then shifting your mindset in this way, doesn't make it that somebody else isn't going to do that too. By you shining your light, you're not dimming anyone else's. And society has told women to peg ourselves against each other, and that's just not the truth. Keep freaking shining. See yourself in this beautiful light and change the mindset that you have that you're not enough. You are enough. You're doing enough. And you're deserving of a life that feels freaking good. The other one that I have just in the same component of number 7 for shifting your mindset is to stay in your lane. Because oftentimes too, when we're working on raising our vibration, by comparing ourselves to other people and what other people are doing and how far along they are on their journey, actually lowers your vibration too. It's one thing to look at the life that they have and be inspired by it and live, a step in that direction. It's another thing to be like, oh, well, they did it like that, and maybe I should do it like this, and I could never be as good as them, and wow, they're so pretty. Like, no, we're not doing that. You can see it as a way of being excited and wanting to step in that way, but don't use it as a way to not show up. And definitely don't use it as a way to bring yourself down. When we compare in that way, we are lowering our vibration. So I challenge you to lean into community and being excited for them and send them a message and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I saw that you're doing this thing. And even if it feels really awkward to do that at first because there is some jealousy there, that's okay. We're working on this. This is something we're working on every single day. All of these pieces to this puzzle of a higher vibrational life are things that we have to work on every single day. It's not going to come out perfect in one day. You can feel better as you start to implement these things, but it takes time. And growth definitely doesn't happen overnight, which, I wish it did. Because if I could Amazon Prime my growth, damn, it'd be good. But that's not your truth. It doesn't work like that. We have to put in the effort and we have to put in the reps. So stop comparing yourself to everyone you're seeing on social media. You are enough. And even if you don't see it in yourself right now, you are a gift to this world. You are a gift to someone. And I really need you to change the mindset that you have, that you're a burden, that you're not enough, that you're, not living authentically, and just lean into this new narrative, the story of yourself that you've always wanted to live. The last one on my list, number 8, is to get uncomfortable. And I bet there's some of these ones that I've already said to you today that make you feel really uncomfortable because they make me uncomfortable too. Again, this is a come along with me podcast. I do not have it all figured out. I am freaking uncomfortable in this too. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. It doesn't mean I'm not going to show up. And that's the same thing for you. It's time for you to get uncomfortable. The big one for me lately has been those cold showers and the cold plunges. They are really uncomfortable. I am not loving it. But I know that showing up consistently over time is really going to help me to live a life that does feel more aligned, or helps me to find myself in those moments. The ideas that come in that 1 minute of really painfully cold showers right now has really helped me to just see life and light in a different way. And maybe for you, that getting uncomfortable could be going to an event that you've seen, that maybe you were invited to and you're just like, I can't go to that. Try your best to get uncomfortable in a way today. Speak up. Use your voice. Maybe there's someone who said something. You're just like, I do not agree with what you said, but I'm just going to stay quiet over here. I do not want to have any kind of fight right now. Maybe it's a change that you speak up. Even if your voice shakes, you speak up and you say something and you get uncomfortable in that way. Maybe you reach out to a friend and invite them out for coffee or for a drink because you really would love to reconnect, but it's been a really long time. These little things of getting uncomfortable are showing the universe and showing God that you want more, that you're willing, again, to put in that effort and to show up for your life in a new way. And it doesn't have to be every single day. You don't have to be uncomfortable every day, but you do have to do it regularly. You do have to say yes to things that you wouldn't normally say yes to or you don't really want to say yes to. Find those things that make you uncomfortable and lean into it. Show up for it. Send me a message and let me know how you're getting uncomfortable because I do think that this is a really big one and one that I still struggle with as well because I do not love. Who loves to be uncomfortable? Like, let's be real. Actually, every time I go to give blood and I always tell them like, I don't really like doing this, but I do it anyway. And so I'm here. So I'm just going to sit over here and pretend that I'm on the beach and I'm not actually, donating blood. And they look at me and they're just like, I don't know if anyone really enjoys doing this. And I'm like, that's a great point. So find those things that make you uncomfortable and maybe make everyone uncomfortable and just lean into it. There's a reason that it makes you uncomfortable. So let's figure that out. So let me just recap these real quick for the 8 ways to feel more confident and live a higher vibrational life. The first one being to move your body and move your body in a way that feels joyful. 2 is to claim your vision and your dreams. Speak it out loud and let the world know what it is that you have on your heart. 3 is to acknowledge yourself and remind yourself of what you've been doing and that you are enough. 4 is to choose clothes that empower you and dress in a way that feels freaking good and authentically you. 5 is to do more things that bring you joy. every single day. Even if it's the tiniest little thing, like using your favorite mug, do it today. 6 is to show the F up. I need you to show up for your life and to show the world that you're willing to work for what you want. 7 is to shift your mindset and to stay in your lane. We don't need you to compare yourself to everyone else. What we need is for you to see your light and to let that light shine in the world. And number 8 is to get uncomfortable. Do a cold shower. Speak on the stage. Do something for you that makes you feel freaking icky, because it is going to help you grow so much brighter. I would love to know how you're implementing some of these into your life today, how you're going to raise the vibration in this world and show up as your true authentic self. I know it can be hard. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just tell you that it's roses all the freaking time, because it's not. It's really hard, but you're doing it. And I'm so proud of you for that. And if today's episode spoke to you and you're just like, you know what, these are really simple and I can do it, and I know someone who might need to hear this too, send this to your friend. Send this to a girlfriend who needs to hear how they can raise their vibration too. This podcast grows from you sharing it with more people, and that I appreciate so much. Like, the greatest gift you could ever give me is a share or a review on this podcast. As you know, it takes a lot of effort. We are 108 episodes in, which is still insane to me. And the fact that you're here listening to this means the world. So if you can share it with a friend or give me a review, I would really appreciate it, because that's what helps more people find this podcast and helps them to find their confidence too. So thank you so much for spreading the word and for being here and for just being this bright light in the world. I'm so grateful for you, and I hope you have an awesome day. I am so grateful that we could connect today. If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a friend or on your social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me grow this community and get my message out there. And don't forget, you deserve to embrace your truth. It's time to live life your way.